Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome back. This is Cinderella phenomenon. And let us play this. That sounds pretty good. And let's turn this all the way off. Sure. All right. Oh, we last left off. I think it was we gave a gift, and then we gave the giant teddy bear to the man who couldn't afford it, and that equates to a good deed, which completed 1/3 of Lucettes' glass slipper and 1/3 of her failed fairy tale curse checked off. And there's a voice calling out to us. I don't know who this is. Cinderella's glass slipper, huh? We both turn around to stare at a man standing a few feet away from us. He is cloaked in darkness, but I can still make out his grin. Hello, princess. Oh. Is this Mithros? The man starts walking toward us slowly. Waltz moves to stand in front of me. Princess, stay close to me. Good morning, Princess Lucette. And a good evening to you, Peter Pan. The man drops into an elegant bow. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Varg. What do you want, Varg? How do you know who we are? I love to stay and chat, but I have more important things to do. The princess is coming with me. Varg takes one long stride towards us. He taps the cane he is holding onto the ground. A surge of light emanates from the cane, then flares out toward us. Princess, go back to the Martian. Hurry! Waltz darts toward Varg before I can stop him. Varg raises his cane, twists it into one sharp movement. The light abruptly changes direction and slams into Waltz's side, throwing him some distance away. Waltz! Before I can step away, Varg has lifted me into his arms. He grins at me, almost wolfishly, hint hint, before darting away from Waltz. No! Princess! Let me go! No can do, princess. I'll let you go and things will get messy. I almost thought that said mossy. What do you want from me? Are you I cannot even say the word. My blood runs cold as I consider the situation. Are you a witch? That I am not. And you expect me to believe you? You just used magic back there. I guess I did. Let me go! I squirm in his arms, attempting to kick and push him away from me. Varg abruptly stops with a grunt to let me down. This is my chance! I start to bolt away from him, but he quickly grabs my wrist and pulls me back. Not so fast. Get your hands off me! I'm not here to hurt you, princess. What did you, after what you did to Waltz? He leans in toward me until he can look me in the eyes. Well, it was in the way. Besides, it's not like I killed him. Varg begins walking again, this time pulling me with him. I try to break away from his iron grip, but fail. Where are you taking me? Back to where you truly belong. If there's one thing I've learned from fairy tales, it's that a princess belongs in the palace. I am unable to stop the gasp that leaves my lips. He stops and turns to me. You've been away from home for far too long, princess. Don't you want to go back? I don't want to go home, but I do want to go home, but I'm not welcome there anymore. At least not where I'm still cursed. Release her. Varg releases me just in time to block a sword strike that comes out of the darkness of the trees. Oh! How annoying! I could say the same thing about you. I back away as the two trade blows. Varg uses his cane to defend himself against the man that had just emerged from the trees. That man! He's the one who was with Waltz! The man with the sword that helped me save from bounce all those months ago. There's something graceful in the way that the man moves as he swings his sword at Varg. He almost looks like he's dancing. The stranger continues swiping the sword, eventually gaining enough leverage to force Varg back. He moves so quickly that it takes all of Varg's reflexes simply to block his slashes. They're so fast! Varg takes a step back and keeps a safe distance from the stranger. Impressive! The man gives Varg a lopsided smile as he points his sword at him. The two of them temporarily frozen as they each wait for the other to move first. You're not half bad yourself. Wait, is that? Now that he has stopped and I can get a better look at him, I can see that the stranger's features are uncannily similar to Karma's. Karma? Is it really him?
There. All you need is a little imagination.
Princess, are you okay? I turn my head to see Waltz and Delora rushing toward me. How did you find me?
You can do this.
Delora used her magic to track you down. Thankfully, no other witches beat us here. Waltz halts in front of me while Delora advances toward the two men. What do we have here? Delora, right? Can't say it's been a pleasure to meet you. I have to compliment you all. You did an impressive job hiding the princess from us. It took a while to finally track her down. Finding your so-called tavern was difficult, you know, but I got lucky. How does he know about the tavern? No sooner are the words out of Varg's mouth that the swordsman is suddenly upon him again, poised to attack. Varg blocks his sword a second too late and is forced to back away, clutching his now bloody arm. You talk too much. Sorry, I shouldn't have forgotten my manners in front of royalty. Varg's gaze turns to Delora, a smirk somehow still on his face despite his injury. You have quite an interesting bunch with you, witch. How about you joining us instead? We could always use more witches like yourself. Thanks, but no thanks. Too bad. Varg turns to look at me. He holds out a hand and gestures me toward him. Come with me, princess. You know you don't belong here. I clench my hands into fists as I shake my head. Your mother won't be very happy with your decision, princess. Especially after all she's done to make sure you're a suitable heir. Mother? What are you talking about? But Varg ignores me as he raises his cane. Sorry to leave the party so quickly, but I'll be back soon enough for you, princess. Next time, whether you like it or not, you'll be coming with me. I'm not... Oh, excuse me. Oh, Jesus.
There.
I'm not done with you.
Just a little imagination. Practice a little bit. And allow
Delora throws her hands out, beginning to gather light in her palms, but Varg has already brought his cane down to the ground. Thick smoke envelops the area, making my eyes water. When the smoke clears, Varg is gone. Delora huffs in annoyance as she lowers her arms back down to her sides. To think that those witches are using a human to do their dirty work. What was that cane he was carrying? I look up at the stranger who has sheathed his sword and is walking toward where Waltz, Delora, and I are standing. It's an enchanted item. That cane has been infused with a spell that allows Varg to use magic. Limited magic, but powerful enough to make him dangerous. Well, it is far easier for a human to explore the kingdom without anyone getting suspicious. The stranger stands close enough for me to get a proper look at his face, I can no longer deny the resemblance I saw earlier.
Karma? Is that really you?
You have good eyes, darling.
So this is what Karma looks like as a man. Why does he need to disguise himself as a woman?
I open my mouth to ask the question when I'm interrupted by Waltz's hand on my shoulder. Are you hurt anywhere? I turn to Waltz and freeze when I notice the dried blood on his forehead.
You're bleeding!
I'll be fine. I step back and realize that Waltz is standing oddly, favoring one leg to the other.
Bark must have hurt him badly.
I frown as I study Waltz's wound.
We have to go back to the Martian now. You need to have your wounds checked.
Oh, this is nothing. I'm just glad you're not hurt.
Stop worrying about me. You're the one in need of medical attention.
I cannot keep the edge from my voice when I speak. Waltz's expression falls. I'm sorry, Princess. I didn't mean to. Waltz's expression suddenly twists as he doubles over, his eyes glazed in pain.
Waltz!
The Lord catches one of Waltz's arms, supporting him as he turns to address both Karma and I.
All you need is a little imagination.
We should return to the Martian. Rappel needs to see to Waltz's injuries.
Rumple?
I'll explain everything once you're back. The Lord calls for Rumpel. Is it Rumple or Rumpel? The Lord calls for Rumple as soon as we arrive at the Martian. When Rumple enters the reception area, he is clearly distraught by Waltz's injuries. What happened? Heal first, explain later. I expect Rumpel to object, but I'm surprised when he does nothing more than to nod. Carefully, Rumple leads Waltz back to his room so he can be treated. Delora looks in the direction Rumple and Waltz have gone with a thoughtful look on her face. We're lucky we have Rumple with us. Anise is good with herbs and small wounds, but Rumple has experience with more serious injuries. What? He's a medic?
Experience? What are you talking about?
Remember his curse. Rumple is not the only one who does not remember who he is. None of the townsfolk remember his name either.
But what about those with the curse? Shouldn't they at least still be able to remember his name?
Rumple is an exception to the rule, as he is with many things. In this case, not a single person can remember his name. Funny thing is, they can still recognize him. He ran into someone who called him a doctor today. Even just hearing it brought back a memory. He's got one of the chapters of his journal back now. He's quite the proficient doctor.
He collects his journal pages by retrieving memories from others that still remember him? What a strange curse.
My eyes wander around the reception area and I notice that someone is missing. Oh my god! Spoiler! For those who haven't played Bravely Default 1, just skip this to the next minute. He's like Ring a Bell, where all of his memories are inside a book and then like magically comes back to him, I guess. And as the book fills out, his memory returns. Oh my god, that must be the inspiration for this character. If not, I guess it's an original? My eyes wander around the reception area and I notice that someone is missing.
Where's Karma?
Don't worry about him, he's probably changing now.
I don't understand why Karma is so secretive about his reasons for wearing that disguise. It's almost like it's part of his curse.
I'm about to ask Delora if she knows any of the specifics of Karma's curse when the door to the reception area is thrown open. Princess! I'm surprised when Anise suddenly throws her arms around me. She pulls me into a tight hug. I was so worried about you. Thank goodness you're safe. She pulls away and begins to wipe at tears that have sprung to her eyes.
What? Why are you crying?
Because I was worried about you, silly.
She was really so worried she'd cry. Why? That rhymes!
I'm intensely aware of the awkwardness of this situation.
Thank you for worrying about me.
I had thought the words might do something to ease her worries, but her sobbing only grows louder.
Anise?
I'll get you something warm to drink. I stare off as after Anise before I turn to look at Delora worriedly.
Did I say something wrong?
Quite the opposite, actually. You made her very happy.
I did? But she was crying.
They're called tears of joy, princess. I'd be overwhelmed too if you suddenly become nice to me. Miracles tend to bring people to tears.
I just said thank you.
And that was a kindness in and of itself. No wonder she's so happy.
I was being kind.
And congratulations, princess. I see you've managed to complete your first good deed. My hand moves instinctively. One more time. My hand moves instinctively to my pendant. I clutch at the new piece that hangs there. I knew you could do it. Delora smiles warmly. For some reason, it makes me feel strangely proud. Parfait walks into the room, startling us both. It's been 2 weeks since I last saw her. Her face is ashen. Parfait? You know that continuously using your magic takes a toll on your body. I have no choice, the witches. Her voice trails off as eyes meet Delora's. Parfait and Delora look at each other solemnly. The tension in the room mounts as they continue to stare at each other without uttering a word. Eventually, Parfait's eyes wander to me. Keeping her in the dark won't make this situation any better, Delora. Parfait moves towards me, but her knees buckle. Before I can react, Delora is already at her side supporting her. Parfait, you need to rest. I'll take care of this. No, she needs to hear this from the both of us.
What's going on?
We wanted to tell you about this later, but we can no longer afford to wait. Delora helps Parfait to a chair. I tentatively take a seat opposite of the two of them. We're going to tell you the whole truth of this situation.
The whole truth?
Delora sighs before she eventually speaks. Do you know why I cursed you, princess?
Some twisted sense of mischief?
That's not the whole reason. Actually, more like 75% of the reason. No. We needed you to change your ways, princess, to change how you see the world. If we didn't do something, you were going to end up as merciless and cold-hearted as your mother.
What are you talking about?
My eyes go to Parfait, but she doesn't meet my gaze. Hildur, your mother, was not always so cruel. Parfait's eyes look wet, as if she's about to cry.
Why are you speaking as if you know her?
She was my friend. Long before she was queen, Hildur was like a sister to me. But she changed when the witch hunt started.
What does the witch hunt have to do with mother?
Parfait does not meet my eyes, but Delora is looking right at me. Your mother was a witch, Lucette. The most powerful of the witches, in fact. Hildur was the TV bear. My heart drops into the pit of my stomach.
No, that's impossible. I've never seen her use magic. She can't be a witch.
That's what she wanted you to believe.
You cannot keep something like that a secret.
If you try hard enough, you could keep anything a secret. Wow. That's really deep. Even from your own family.
But how?
Delora pauses for a long moment before she speaks. She erased your memories, Lucette. The air leaves my lungs as I struggle to remain calm.
Waltz said mother ordered my memories to be erased, but are they saying that mother herself what? But are they saying that it was mother herself who erased my memories?
Jagged pieces of memory and thought begin to snap together in my mind. She needed you to be obedient and compliant. Whether you acted out, she took that memory of disobedience from you. And it didn't take long at all to mold you into her perfect, unquestioning little doll. I grip my dress without realizing My hands are shaking.
Then, I did know Waltz. Mother really did erase my memories from him. How much of my childhood did I lose?
Hildur cherished humans before. She was kind and selfless. She was devoted to maintaining the balance between the Lucis and the Tenebrom. But Hans, Delora moves to place a gentle hand on Faye's shoulder. It's not your fault. I trusted him too much. He swore that they would only be stories, small fantasies to share with his children. Hildur wanted to turn him away, but I disagreed. I allowed Hans to weave his tales about witches and fairies.
The fairy tales?
Delora nods. Hans's fairy tales become hugely popular, and in practically every single one of his stories, it was a witch who was bad and a fairy who was good. To add insult to injury, it was well known that Hans had been welcomed by the Lucis bear, but not the TB bear. The humans took that information and their imaginations ran wild. Hildur and I went to Hans to beg him to tell the truth, but it was too late. No matter what Hans said, everyone believed that he was being threatened by the witches. I don't think he ever meant for things to get so out of hand either. When the king at the time, your grandfather, also voiced his negative opinions on witches, he only added fuel to the fire. It was as if he was giving human permission to carry on their witch genocide. And we could do nothing but defend ourselves. We were bound by our oath to never hurt a living soul. The witch hunt lasted 4 years. Most of us were slaughtered. All witches are bound to the TB bearer through the TB itself. Hildur felt each of the deaths like it was her own. It drove her mad. And she broke her oath. She killed the king, your grandfather.
Mother killed my grandfather.
As Hildur's power kept growing, more and more good witches were corrupted through her influence on the TB. I tried to stop her, but she was already lost to reason. Hildur wanted to take NGL for the witches. She wanted to take revenge on the humans for what they had done to all of us. And since your father was next in line, Hildur forced Jannar to marry her so that she would have the legitimate claim to the throne. And she did it even though she knew he loved another woman. The very woman who sits on the throne today.
Ophelia.
Delora nods.
The king has always loved Ophelia.
Hildur created a fairy tale curse to punish the humans. She wanted to fuel the TB with their hatred and anger. Parfai's voice became very soft. The balance between dark and light was lost. While Hildur lived, Angel was a place of grief. I can feel an impending headache coming.
But even if what you're saying is true, Mother is dead. She's been dead for 4 years.
She is... But for some reason, the witches are becoming more active. Garland and Urian's patrols have confirmed this.
Patrols? Is that why they disappear at night?
I had to cast a glamour on you so that the other witches would be unable to recognize you as the princess. But it seems like they've already seen through your glamour. They're looking for you, princess. The witches are looking for you.
What? Why?
What do you mean, why? Ah! The TB needs a bearer. A witch needs to take on that role and regulate the balance between the Lucis and the TB. For the past years, it's been a state of hibernation. We believe Hildur infused her life into the TB to keep it stable. But now the TB is beginning to wake again. We believe that's why so many people are being cursed lately. The witches are preparing for their new bearer. The Lord turns to me with an expression I cannot quite read. I only have to wait until you turn 18. The room and the air seems to disappear all at once. Princess, on your 18th birthday, your curse will break regardless of whether you complete your 3 good deeds. And you will become the TB bearer. You will inherit the title and the power that comes from your mother.
Impossible.
My heart is racing and I feel faint.
Even if Mother was a witch, I can't use magic at all.
All halflings like you inherit their magic at 18.
No, I'm human.
Princess, Dolores' expression is grim as she speaks. We've been watching you for a long time, Lucette. We know what sort of influence your mother had on you. The curse was a test. We needed to know that you wouldn't return to NGL to what it was when your mother was queen. We cannot allow another great war to tear NGL apart. Delora and I believe that there's still goodness left in you. You just needed a wake-up call. Thus the curse and the 3 good deeds. We wanted to see that you hadn't in years to be exposed to the true reality of things. And above all, we needed to see that you were capable of 3 good deeds. I attempt to grasp the fleeing thoughts in my mind, but to no avail. I feel numb. That's it. No more secrets. Parfait's voice is gentle when she speaks to me. The future of this kingdom is in your hands. Will you follow your mother's footsteps? Or will you achieve the same balance that we had before?